Good afternoon. I am Satish Kumar Gupta, Assistant Professor, IIMT College of Law. I am here to discuss about the emergence of sociology and what are the preconditions for the emergence of sociology as a new discipline, in which we can see that the two revolution, the first one is French Revolution, and the second one is the Industrial Revolution. So first of all, we can see that the origin of the term sociology, in which we can see that the word sociology derived from the two language. The first one is Latin, and the second one is the Greek language. The first language Latin word means socio means associate or companion, and the suffix Greek word logi means the study of. So to include the both language, we can see that the sociology means the study of the social groups or human behaviors. The word sociology, the term sociology derived from coined by French philosopher Auguste Comte in 1838, and he is known as the father of sociology. He used the term positive philosophy for the describe the sociology and social relationship, and he actually used the positivism because he want to find out, and he want to conduct the study of society through the scientific study, and he mainly focus upon the we can study of the society through the scientific way. So he described that sociology is the scientific study of human social life, groups, and society. So it is the academic study of social behavior, including its origin, development, organization, and institution. Further, he elaborated that it is a social science that uses various methods of empirical investigation and critical analysis to develop a body of knowledge about social order, social disorder, and social changes. Next, we can see the historical background of the emergence of sociology, in which the French Revolution in 1789, and the second revolution is the Industrial Revolution, that is in 1760. So in the French Revolution, we can see that the political cause, economic cause, and intellectual cause, that are the three reasons for the emergence of French Revolution. And the second one is the Industrial Revolution, rise of capitalism, growth of cities, religious transformation, and rise of socialism. So basically, August Comte define that there are two revolution as the main importance for the emergence of sociology. Means after before the French Revolution in the France, the condition of human beings are very pity. Means that there are only two groups, two class in the society, in which the first class is the lower class, and the upper class is the landlord class, or we can other see that in the France there are the feudal system are emerge, and feudal system are particularly we find that in the France there are feudal system are run. So in the feudal system, people are the from the lower country people selling of human beings, and they use as the bound labor. So all these things that created in the human being that as a revolt, and all the people feel that they are feeling very exploitation, and the noble or the clergy people exploit the lower class people. They impose very taxes upon them. So all those reason are the basic reason for the emergence of French Revolution. So in the line that we can see that the second revolution is the Industrial Revolution, which is happened in 1760. So through this revolution, we can see the rise of capitalism. The first one is the capitalist class, and second one is the labor class, and the growth of cities, because all the industrial are set up in the city areas. So through the cities, there are large major population migrated from the rural area to city. So that created very problem in the city. Means the huge population in the city, and very dirty places and very polluted places, poverty created, that all these things created very problem in the cities and in the urban areas. Transformation also happened in the happen, and rise of socialism also happened through the Industrial Revolution. Apart from this, we can see that the other things in the Industrial Revolution, that the through the industrial revolution people are migrated. One thing that people are migrating from city urban, from rural to urban, and the second things that there are steam engine to electric engine developed, and through the development of electric engine, the production of mass production, the production of the products are very large. Mass production emerged. So in that sense, to manage them, packaging them, managing them, then large people are required. So through this, there are large many people shifted from rural to city. That's created very problem in the urban areas. If we see in the through detail of the French Revolution, so we can see the French Revolution changed the France class system that I told about. There are only after before the French Revolution, there are only two classes. The first one is the labor class, feudal class, means landlord, and the second class is the labor class, means capitalist class and the labor class. Aristocrats suddenly lost their wealth, status, and power, while peasants at the bottom of the social ladder rose to more powerful and influential position. Means through the French Revolution, who are the people of the aristocrat in that society? They lost their wealth, their status, and their power. And the who are the people at the bottom in that society? They ladder rose to more powerful. So in the next, we can see that the before the French Revolution, the French people were divided into three groups. The first state is the clergy, means who are the people are the Catholic Church official, who govern the church and who run the churches, and who impact the whose impact upon the society are very high. Their status are very high in the society. The second state, the nobility, a few liberals, greater political influential in that society. And the third state, we can see that the common people. In that third state, common people means bourgeoisie, urban workers, and the peasants. So most of the exploitation feel to the third state, means the common people, means because the clergy and the nobility imposes the high tax upon the bourgeoisie, urban worker, and the peasants, upon the peasants. Next, we can see that the legally the first two states enjoy many privilege, as I told you, particularly exemption from the most taxation. The second revolution, we can see that the industrial revolution followed on the heels of French Revolution, unfolding in Western Europe throughout the 18th century. During the industrial revolution, people abandoned a life of agriculture and moved to city to find factory jobs. They worked long hours in dangerous conditions for low pay. New social problems emerged, and for many decades, little was done to address the plights of urban poor. The Industrial Revolution increased the material wealth of humanity, especially among notion of the West, and it helped to create the modern world view that through the proper use of science and technology, a more fruitful quality of life could be achieved. And the last one, Europe was changing from agriculture to factory production. So through the industrial revolution, we can see the major changes that people are more focusing upon the most last production or major production. Before the industrial revolution, people are didn't most focus upon the industry, because before there are steam engine and their production are very less. But after the industrial revolution, electric engine emerge, and the production of the products are in very large numbers. So there are another concept of another impact of the revolution we can see in the Protestant, that we can see the work of the Protestant ethics and spirit of capitalism. Max Weber work. In that work, he discussed about how the in the capital means the emergent spirit of capitalism emerged in the Protestant people, and he described the Protestant and Catholic and Protestant to that two religious perspective, and how that the capitalist or the spirit of capitalist are more in the Protestant, because the Protestant people thought about that if we produce more and more, then God will be happy with us, and they think that health is wealth, means they focus upon that if our health is very, then we can generate more wealth. So in that sense, that the impact of industrial revolution are more focus are more impacted upon the Protestant people. So apart from these two revolution, we can see the other impact upon the society, that the reason for the emergence of sociology, that social, economic, and political factor for of the emergence of sociology. The Renaissance period, in the Renaissance period, through the Renaissance period, the emergence of the thinking about the in the new way, and the people thinking are changing from the religious perspective to the reasoning or rationality. The people are very rational in about their thinking through the Renaissance period. The second one, we can see the expansion of trade and commerce, means the through the industrial revolution we can see that the how that the trade and commerce, means how the industry expanded in very large area and very large section. Rise of middle class, means before the French Revolution and Industrial Revolution, there are no existence of middle class. But after that, the two revolution, we can see the changes, that the rise of middle class. Growth of science and scientific thought through the reasoning, as I told you that through the Renaissance period, people thinking changing from the religious perspective to the scientific perspective. They use their reasoning and rationality for the every things. Next, we can see the transition from feudalism to industrialism, means our society changed from the feudal system to the industrial system, and more focus upon the large, more and more production, major production. So next, we can see the structural changes in society. What are the structural changes in the society? Migration and urbanization, as I told you, through the industrial revolution, major people migrated from the rural to urban city for their jobs. And in the jobs, they although they get very low wages, but they are working in the low wages and very petty condition, because they want to work and they want to money for their survival and livelihood. If we see the intellectual sources of enlightenment, the Enlightenment was an intellectual movement in Europe during the 18th century, in which people began to change their views on the world and on society. Enlightenment principle that religion, tradition, and superstition limited independent thought, means that I told you that already told that the through the Enlightenment or Renaissance period, we our focus upon the religion, our focus on very less upon the religion, tradition, and superstition, and we accept knowledge based on observation, logic, reasoning, reason, and not on faith. And the second thing, we can see that the scientific and academic thinking should be based on reasoning, not on church. Means our mostly our focus upon based upon focus upon the thinking upon not on church, but we are seeing the society and watching the society and watching the things through the scientific way and through the reasoning way. The other things, we can see the challenges old way of thinking, means through the Enlightenment era we challenge our old way of thinking, and we believe that social reforms were necessary and possible in this life, not just the next. Means people because before the Enlightenment and Renaissance, that our religion told about that our life will be changed in the next life. But through the Renaissance, through the Enlightenment era, people thought that it is possible that the life, our social reform were necessary and possible in this life, not just into the next. So we can see the some Enlightenment thinkers as Voltaire from 1650 to 1722, Rousseau from 1712 to 1778, Thomas Hobbes from 1588 to 1679, John Locke from 1632 to 74, and Montesquieu from 1689 to 1755. So we can see the timeline of early sociologists. The first sociologist, we can see the in 1837, Harriet Martineau, he published book of Society in America. In this book, He described the society and used the term society and how the society run and society work. So second work, we can see that in 1838, Auguste Comte, Positive Philosophy, identifies science of sociology, and his view basically, I told you, focus upon the scientific study of society. The third work, we can see that in 1848, Karl Marx, the Communist Manifesto, promoting a classless society, and in 1850, Herbert Spencer work, Social Statics, and the second is Evolutionary Approach. In 1897, work of Emil Durkheim, Division of Labor in Society, Suicide, and the rules of sociological methods, all these things. And in the 1904, Max Weber work, The Protestant Ethics and Spirit of Capitalism, and the last work of in 1959, he writes Mills of Sociological Imagination. In this book, he described about the public issue and private issue, how the differentiate between and how we can differentiate between the public issue and private issue. Next, we can see they see that some sociological thinkers from country to country, from era to era. The first we can see in the France, so that the social forces, which were we can see the work of Montesquieu, Rousseau, Saint-Simon, Auguste Comte, Machiavelli, and Emile Durkheim. In the Germany, we can see that the political revolution means industrial revolution and the rise of capitalism. We can see through the Germany, in the Germany, we can see the work of Immanuel Kant, Hegel, Feuerbach, Marx, Dilthey, Nietzsche, Gemmell, Lucas, and Weber work is also very important in the German sociologist. Some sociologist thinker we can see in the Italy, rise of socialism. In that Italy, we can see the work of Pareto. His work is elite and non-elite, and ruling elite. We can also see the work in governing elite and non-governing elite, and the work of Mosca work from 1858 to 1941. Some other thinkers we can see in the Britain, rise of feminism and urbanization. In the Britain, we can see the political economic through the work of Smith from 1723 to 1719, and the evolutionary theory work of Herbert Spencer. So all this we can earlier we see all these thinker from country to country and from era to era, how they contribute in the sociology and how they work for in the emergence and the development of sociology. So first of all, we see that the development of sociology in the French. So we can see the work of Alexis de Tocqueville, Democracy in America, and Claude Henry Saint-Simon. The work of actually Henry Saint-Simon and Auguste Comte. They are both just as a friend, and they both work from them for the emergence of sociology. So in the work of Auguste Comte, through the era of 1798 to 1857, we can see the work of Auguste Comte, because he first to use the term sociology. As I told you that he developed the word of social physics, or what social physics, but in 1838, but later on he changed the name of social physics as a sociology, because the word social physics was used by the copyright by the Edward Quetelet. And the second thing, he developed the law of three stages to study the society, or the evolution of how the evolution of society and the era of society. So he categorized into the three. So the first one is the theological stage, that the world prior to 13th century means he defined that before the 13th century, knowledge can be explained by supernatural powers such as enemies, spirit, or God. People's thinking are based upon the supernatural power. People are basically focused upon the gods, and they thought that if anything's happened with them, means that that are the through the God. if anything happen or anything they use or anything they done, all the credit goes to the God, because their faith are mostly focused upon the supernatural powers. So next we can see the metaphysical world in the between that era is 13th century to 18th century. So in that era, metaphysical world era, he defined that the society's knowledge is explained as abstract philosophical speculation, means all the knowledge and are delivered by the abstract philosophical speculation, means people believe, people are told that happened because of this reason, and people normally believe that yes, it is a true, means he is saying that it is a true because he are superior in the society and his knowledge is better than us. So the third era we can see the positivistic or scientific age in the 18th century through the after the 18th century, when the world enter in the positivistic stage. So in the positivistic stage, positivistic means actually basically August Comte defined that the positivism means he told about how the see the society through the scientific way, means the he defined that the knowledge is explained scientifically through observation, experiment, and comparison. Basically, his focus upon the study of society through the scientific way. Scientific way means thought that when we talk about the society and when we discuss about the society, when you describe about society, means we have to think about the society through the only the scientific way, not through the metaphysics or theological way, means not through the abstract or speculation waste. So after the 18th century, the as emerge of the science through the science, we can see that the emergence of through the emergence of science, there are various reasoning are found that means if anything happens, that there are any basically reason for the happening of anything. Mean certain incidents are a reason for these things happens. So as I told that before the emergence of science, we don't know about the gravity, means the how we anything fall to the earth. But after the world used by the Newton that gravity, so we know about that. Oh, that's the reason for the anything fall in to the earth, means that is the gravity. So that is the scientific study, means scientific reason and such reasoning for the anythings. So to that called the positivistic or scientific era way. Further, Comte introduced the concept of positivism to sociology, a way to understand the social world based on the scientific fact. As I told you that Auguste Comte introduced the concept, means the positivism, or as I told that he developed the world of scientific study or scientific way, means he want to define about the society, define about the sociology through the scientific way, because before the emergence of sociology discipline sociology, there are no any discipline for the study of whole society, because political science work for only the political activities, economic work for the economic activities, history work for the history or history, the past experience of the our society, means history activity. So there are no any discipline through we can study the whole society or the what's happening in our society, that such things. So through the for the study of the whole some things, so in that sense, Auguste Comte introduced the new word as a sociology. Apart from this, Comte advocates the scientific study of society, and he mainly focus upon the we have to study the society as the scientific way. Further, he distinguishes between social statics means stability and social dynamics means change. So he defined that the how what is the social statics and what is the social dynamic. In the social study, he told about the study of condition and precondition of social orders, means what are the chaos in our society, means chaos in our society we can study through the social dynamics. Means it chaos, we can see that the what are the changes, how the evolutionary approach and evolution, how the human progress and all such things, means how that's our society dynamic in various stage, various perspective. So through the social dynamics, we can study our changes, human value, human progress, and how we the human evolution are emerge. All these things we can study through the social dynamics. In the social statics, he told about the study of conditions and precondition of social order. Means he told about how our society is statics. Means when the our basically social statics we can see in the functionalist approach. Means when the functionalist approach our work, that there are no any conflict or no any revolution in our society, then we can you can call that is the functionalist society or functionalist approach. So basically, August Comte mainly focus upon the social statics, means social stability, how that the our society is stable, and what are the preconditions for stable, and what are the how the our social order are maintained, and how the social order can be maintained. So these all things. So friends, so as I talk about in my first lecture, that what are the precondition of emergence of sociology, and what are the situation, and what are the society's preference for the emergence of sociology, and all these things. So in that emergence of the sociology, our we can see the major importance work of Auguste Comte. We saw that the major importance of the work of Auguste Comte. Later on, I will discuss about the work of major work and the other work of Auguste Comte and the work of Emile Durkheim. His four books are main important. That the first one is Division of Labor in Society, Suicide, Rules of Sociological Method, and the emergence of religion in our society. So all these things we will discuss about in the our next slides, my next slides. So these are the two references. You can follow these book are the two books are very good and very nice books. So through the books of George Ridger, Sociological Theory, you can understand the sociological theory in very easily way, and the whole sociology we can found at one place at one books. The major sociological theories we can found in the that book. The second book is the J.S. Turner, The Structure of Sociological Theory. In this book, we can see the how the structure of sociological theory and the major importance of social theory you can found in this book. So thank you. I stop my lecture here.